hard decision that was.
Yes.
Me as a fan, I wouldn't be able to be like, hey, Pete, take a hike, right? That had to be rough, and look at where they are now because of it. So,
and I want to point out that I think she foresaw this. When Pete first got his contract extension, I can't remember what year was that. Was it?
He's got a few of them
around the Let Rush Cook, right? Like right around that era, because people were surprised. They were like, "Really, we extended Pete?" And
well, they extended Pete and John in the same year too.
They did, but they extended John 6 years, and Pete had 5. And people kind of pointed it out, like thought it was interesting that basically John was going to get an opportunity to run this by himself, and they established the contract extensions that way. Now Pete didn't end up seeing out his full contract. Obviously, they let him go, but I think they made that decision that it was going to be Pete goes away. They probably hoped voluntarily at some point, and then John takes over from the very beginning. And I think most people don't talk about that, but I think it's a very it wasn't luck. It was an intentional choice that I think should be rewarded.
Yeah. And I mean, she owns the team. She can do whatever the hell she wants. She could say no more 12-man flag to begin with, right? Everybody gets, buckets instead of seats, right? She owns the team, so she can do whatever she wants. But I honestly, for anybody that disagrees with that, and I got annoyed. If Pete Carroll raised the flag on Sunday, I don't care because it doesn't matter. There is, like I said, I know it's cool if you've never been to the game, right? You're like, oh, so-and-so raise the flag. But the fact of the matter is these players have been on the field all year. Most of these fans have been in the seats all year. And we look up and we're like, oh, cool, Kurt Warner's doing it today. Oh, cool. Like last week, it was like, oh, Doug Baldwin. It's like, oh, sweet. And then they raise the flag and immediately your head turns to watch the game. So you're not thinking in your head, you're like, oh my God, Pete Carroll, this is so great. This is taken away from, I saw somebody, this is taking away from Mike Macdonald's moment. It's like, we have 3 hours to watch Mike Macdonald. We'd have 30 seconds to pay tribute to Pete. I'm willing to, let it go.
I get both sides. I'll say I'll give it probably a little bit more meaning, at least maybe to someone who hasn't been in the stadium. I give it a lot more meaning in the playoffs. And I mean, really, I would say even for somebody that hasn't been, it really doesn't mean much in the regular season. So that comes through even when you haven't been there. But for the playoffs, cool. I think it's an NFC Championship. I think it's a little higher meaning because it's so rare. I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's just it's a little. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, anyways, I don't know how we got off track with that, but
I think we're talking about Paul Allen and the flag. That's how we got.
Anyway,
back to the game.
Yeah, back to kind of the game. This team honestly has been so awesome. I think another talking point that I've kind of seen on really it's just national media, and I've kind of stayed off Twitter. I've stayed off national media. I just been turning on the radio every day and just listen to local stuff, which is what I normally do. But I inherently this week did not click on the Pat McAfee show going, the Seahawks are good. Where did this come from?
Right.
Like Saban said, dude, that's rat poison. And I'm a fan. I have nothing to do with any of this, but I'm like, I'm not trying to see them get their flowers before we win, right? Yeah. But a lot of what I see is, oh man, Darnold, this game's too big for him. Darnold versus Stafford. And I don't know how you feel. This game is not about Darnold versus Stafford. And I had a comment on last video that was actually pretty good because I've said I don't want Darnold to win the game for us. That's not what we want out of him. But one guy said, after I said that, he said, we don't want Darnold to win the game for us, but the Rams need Stafford to win the game for them. And that's kind of, I thought that was perfect. Shout out to that guy. I kind of forgot his name. But if we just can run the ball effectively, obviously it's not going to be like last week, but he threw it 17 times. And there was a point in the game when I looked up and he had 70 passing yards. And I was like, don't really have to throw it, So I'd like to see something, obviously not that one-sided, but I'd like to see something like that.
Yeah, I could see a couple of approaches. I could see sort of a similar. Obviously, Sam's going to have to do more than he did the last week. Like that's not going to happen again. But I could see a scenario where the Rams kind of sell out this time to stop the run. And then at that point, it does become more on Sam and the offense. But I don't think that they're incapable of doing that. I just think they've been taking what the defense has given them. Like to this point, they were super explosive at the beginning of the year because most teams didn't care about the Seahawks running the ball. So they're like, hey, run the ball. And most of the time we couldn't do so that effectively anyway. So then it just kept. And then when eventually the Seahawks have, hey, run, like now we can dominate in the run game. If it went backwards and all of a sudden we start seeing some explosive plays, or we finally see Rashid Shaheed get involved in the pass game for once, other than like drawing a pass interference. Like if we begin to see that, it wouldn't surprise me. But that's what I kind of love about this team is that they've won so many different ways. We've seen them win so many different ways that to me it doesn't. There are a lot of different ways I can see the script playing out, but I still see the Seahawks having an advantage as long as they can remain somewhat turnover free.
So. Yeah, and this has to be my favorite comment of the day. Sawyer Todd says, yo.
Yeah.
What's happening, Sawyer Todd?
Yo.
Sorry, that threw me off there. But yeah, and I've said before, this team has won shootouts. This team has won ugly games like against the Colts, right? But another thing is, everybody was talking shit on Sam. We've seen Sam against the Cardinals put together a drive to win the game. We've seen him against the Colts put together a drive to win a game, and both those were field goals. We've seen him against the Rams put together a drive. I can't remember if he threw for a touchdown pass or somebody ran it in, but put together a drive, score a touchdown, throw for a 2-point conversion.
Yep.
We've seen him be clutch, right? Mm-hmm. It's just
49ers. Both weeks. Well,
it's more of like, it's not the end of the game other than the 49ers and Buccaneers game, which are really, we only lost 3 games. So 2 of the 3 losses we had were late turnovers by Darnold. But it's been mainly the boneheaded middle of the game plays that kill us. And I don't know if you've seen this in Pro Football Focus, I guess, and this is just hearsay off the radio, but I kind of trust them. They're professionals and I'm not. But Darnold's like middle of the pack when it comes to turnover-worthy plays, but he's like first in turnovers. Yes. And Stafford is also middle of the pack for turnover-worthy plays, but he's close to, I guess, the bottom or top, how you look at it. He turns the ball over the least. Right. And then Matt Hasselbeck came on, and I kind of put this together when he said it. He's like, the key to this game for me is capitalizing if Stafford throws you the ball, catch it, right? If you're the defense. And we saw that. I brought this up last show. We saw that with Josh Jobe in overtime. The play before Puka had that touchdown, we could have had the ball back. We could have drove down 20 yards, and we could have kicked a field goal and gotten out of there. It would have been less dramatic, but it would have been nice. Yes. But he's given us opportunities to get the ball back. We just haven't taken advantage of it. Yeah,
most teams don't. I think it's a little savvy on Matthew Stafford's part. I don't think it's completely coincidence. I've heard like you can like put a little extra mustard on it if you aren't confident about the throw or something to make it hard for the DB. I mean, like I feel like there are little nuances like that that sort of make the difference. But yeah, so to me, the Sam Darnold narrative, what's been the most frustrating for me is just the goalpost moving, because that's what it is. The whole thing was, you can't win in playoffs, you can't win in big moments, you can't win you a game, right? And you just went down the list, and so all these examples of he's been able to do it, and now people are like, oh, well, it's not enough like style points. Like he didn't have to do a lot, so it still doesn't count. And I'm like, it counts. Like you didn't say from the beginning he had to do it and he had to build with style points. Like this team wasn't.
And
made
you hated Darnold. Look at you. Look at you go.
I hated Darnold. I really did. I did.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Look at you. You're willing to say
I didn't like the guy, but I don't like goalposts moving, and I don't think that's fair to someone that's proven a point, proved the narrative wrong, and then you're just gonna be like, oh well, he didn't like have 300 yards, so and I'm like,
yeah,
but he won. Like that's the point.
That's all that matters. This team, that's what I'm saying. It's not Sam Darnold versus Matt Stafford. It is the Seahawks against the Rams. And if you want to say it's the Seahawks versus Matt Stafford, that's fine, because I think you do need Stafford to play a great game to beat us on defense.
Yes.
But I don't think Darnold needs to play. Now, I'm not saying throw 4 interceptions, right? But the fact of the matter is he threw 4 interceptions in that first. That was another national media thing I saw. Sorry, I'm just rambling on, but somebody said the Rams outplayed the Seahawks for 7 quarters out of the 8 that they played, and the Seahawks just won the 4th quarter of the second game. Did you watch the first game? If Sam Darnold just took a knee on every play instead of pass the ball, we'd have won that game easy.
Yes.
You can't throw 4 interceptions and win the game, but we almost did.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for the best punt of all time that I've ever seen, and we still drove it down the field and gave Jason Myers an opportunity to kick a 60-yard field goal indoors, right? It's not like this was at Soldier Field in December. I don't know. I just think a lot. They look at the score, and that's all they look at, and then they watch the Thursday night game because that's the only game on TV, right? And that's the only one that people are watching. So the first game is a lot closer than people think.
Yeah, and I think it's a recency bias type of thing because, I even go back to that final drive. If they just catch both DPIs on Jaxon Smith-Njigba that were on, they got 1, but like there were 2 defensive pass interference calls that should have been made. They got those extra yards, then they make the field goal question. So there's so many things with, despite how messy that first game was, Seattle, people came away from that game, and I think they forget that the takeaway was the Seahawks were the better team, even though they lost. So many national media guys were saying that, and annoyed the Rams fans. They were like, oh, it's so stupid. And then when it's the shoe on the other foot and people are like, well, the Rams were the better team. Now they're like, oh, yeah, we're the better team. I'm like, okay, so it was stupid when the Seahawks bought into that hype. But now that it's y'all, you guys, of course, it's fine now.
Well, I mean, just look. I mean, the fact that we threw 4 interceptions and almost won has to say something. Exactly. Stafford threw for less receiving yards than Puka had the second game. Stafford threw for, I think it was less than 150 yards the first game. Puka had 70 of those. And I think one of the key of the games is limiting Puka Nacua, because Devontae Adams was playing for them the first game. People forget that. He scored a touchdown, but he had 1 catch for 1 yard and 1 touchdown. So.
And they held Puka down the first game, I think 75 yards. I don't think that they're so here's another narrative that gets to my nerves when people are covering this game. It's like, well, the Seahawks defense is good, but the Rams did have 500 yards on the Seahawks defense. And I'm like,
I hate that,
guys, it's on a short week. And they had 3 injuries in the third and fourth quarters when the Rams really kind of began to go away with it. Like we had, who went down? Eben Mori went down. Kobe Bryant went down. Right. Woolen went down. They kind of blew the game open from a yards perspective at that point. And so I think that narrative also is a little overblown. Yes, it's true. So not saying it shouldn't be brought up, but I think people are putting so much stock in the Rams are going to be able to throw all over this defense. Again, did you watch the first matchup? Because that was a short week, and Mike Macdonald even admitted that he put too much on the guys that particular week for a short week. They tried to run some half zone, half man concepts, and basically Stafford just took the zone every time and let Puka eat. Yeah, let's not do that again. Let's not make it that easy for them again.
Yeah, that play at the end of the game or in overtime that Puka had was pretty good. I mean, that Ernest Jones was a hair away from that pass being incomplete. I mean, there's just if things go a different way, and that's another. let me get to these comments really quick. We do know you guys are here. Rooftop Sports. He covers the Mariners and does some Sonic stuff online. How's it going? Let the Rams focus on Sam while K9 runs in. That's what I'm saying. And I know it's not the Rams themselves doing this. We can only, guys, we're fans. We're not experts. We really are just here arguing with other fans. That's kind of what the point of podcasting is, right?
Yeah.
So, and Mickey Monster, I'm still here. Appreciate it. What was I going to say? I messed up. What was I going to say?
We were talking about the
Rams Seahawks. I don't know.
Yeah, Ernest Jones almost made that play.
Oh, yeah, the pick six, or it wasn't a pick six, but that interception that Sam threw in the Rams on the Thursday game. I mean, without that, we wouldn't need 16 points to come back. And another thing the national media brings up all the time was that hokey 2-point conversion that Charbonnet had. And it's like, okay, I was in the stadium. I didn't know what was going on. But we were down 16 points with 7 minutes left, and we were tied with 5 minutes left. We just might have figured out a way to score three points with 5 minutes left, right? They could have been a little more aggressive. So I hate they bring up that 2-point play and they go, oh, and then the Rams after the game, oh, well, we can just fumble it into the end zone. No, it's a backwards pass, which is a fumble. It hits a defender first and then lands in the end zone. Like, what do you not understand about that? Because I had people, I don't get it. What don't you get? Let's break this down. There's a backwards pass, fumble, hits a defender first. Okay, it's a live ball. Offense recovers it in the end zone. Touchdown. Now, what is there you don't understand? How can we?
When it goes against you, that's really all that matters, apparently.
Yeah, well, maybe don't give up a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter. That's that's the biggest thing. The 2-point conversion aside, whatever. Say that doesn't happen. We're down 2 with 5 minutes left. Don't give up that much. Don't give up that big of a lead in the fourth quarter. It's that simple. Yeah. You should have won regardless of whether that 2-point conversion happened or not.
And I completely agree with you. And I feel strongly about it now, particularly because Mike Macdonald is our coach. And I've sort of got that it's about us mindset, like in my head. Like there's no way that if the roles were reversed, that Mike Macdonald would get up and talk about that play. Yeah, exactly. Like he's going to be like, well, we shouldn't have given up the 6. Like he's going to make it all about the things that they could have controlled. And that wasn't that play. And I just feel like, right, exactly. Like, I respect that so much. And it's the opposite of what the Rams are doing. They're just like, oh, well, they just got lucky with that fluke play. And I'm like, no, you're forgetting all the other things that you did wrong. And another thing that I really liked is sort of this, all of our Seahawks players are all just another week. Like going through the process is just another week. And I've seen some quotes from, I think it was Jared Verse talking from like the Rams. He's like, oh, well, every step is way more intentional and guys are getting on each other like they haven't been before. And the intensity level is up. And to me, I mean, maybe that ends up winning them the game, but I like the approach of like not being super wound up, but like being focused, like being like loose and focused. Like Mike Macdonald says, I feel like that the confidence that comes with that tends to, at least over a longer period of time, I think breed better results.
Yeah, they. I like our coaching staff a lot, and I just like the attitude. It's definitely I wouldn't say a breath of fresh air. It's not like we were held down by Tom Coughlin for 10 years, where he was just an ass to everybody. But yeah, I don't know. Just like I said, I don't know if I said this to you or I said it the show before. Like I said, I might repeat myself, I might not, but Mike Holmgren was such a hard ass. Pete Carroll was such a pushover, and I'm pretty sure I said it to you now that I'm saying out loud. But I didn't.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Mike Holmgren was such a hard ass. Obviously, he had Jim Mora, which was weird, but and then Pete Carroll was such a pushover, and then you have a guy like that is in the middle of both of them to where he can be friends with the guys and he can just be a complete asshole. And I love it because it's just, he seems like a normal guy. And that's one thing I was nervous about hiring a Jim Harbaugh guy is Jim Harbaugh is weird.
Yeah.
Like he's drinking milk all the time. He's staying at recruits' houses, right? Like that's weird. Staying in a high schooler's house trying to recruit them, drinking milk and steak, drinking milk and eating steak. That's weird. But Mike Macdonald, he's just a guy. He never even played college football. I mean, he's just a dude. And he does look like a serial killer a little bit on the sideline, like actually like a lot. But it's fine. If you have that killer instinct on the field, it's okay.
He's definitely intense. He's for sure intense. But now I will say he spent more time under John than Jim. So
I know, but still,
maybe that helps.
Still, Jim's weird.
It was just a year. Oh, hey, I don't seem like it damaged him too much. At least we hope.
And you watched the Michigan sign stealing documentary, right?
No.
Oh my God. So keep in mind the Seahawks. This came out in the off season. I think leading into this season, it might have came out last season. And they go, so who was the first one that kind of wanted you to decipher signs? He's like, I was talking to defensive coordinator Mike Macdonald. And I was like, God damn it, dude. Why? And that never, if you watch it, he says it and you're like, oh, I like him, but boy, do I hate Michigan so much.
Fair enough. But Mike's just been an incredible coach. I mean, to me, the hire of Mike Macdonald should get John the Executive of the Year award because of the timing of when he fired Pete. Had he done it a year earlier or done it a year, I mean, like the timing just lined up.
I'm happy we hired him instead of Ben Johnson. I get that they did.
Me too.
Like, I watched the Bears, and I actually really like the Bears because Rome Odunze is like one of my favorite players in the NFL just because of him being at Washington, right? And I don't know, the Bears have never been like a huge threat to the NFC, so I just kind of always root for the Bears. And he gets a little too cute sometimes on offense, and I'm just so happy we hired a defensive-minded guy that, I mean, I can tell you what, I don't think the Bears are the best offense in the NFL, but I think the Seahawks, even towards the tail end of last year, are the best defense in the NFL. So,
yeah, I would agree. I think they are the best unit, and it's Ben Johnson's. It's his first year, right?
First year, yeah.
So I'll give him. It took Mike some time to sort of really work on and build his program out. But really, the Bears should have won that game. I mean, we shouldn't be here. We should be talking about the Bears because
the Panthers should have won the wild card game. I don't know if you watched that. Yeah. They go up with like, what was it, like 2 minutes left? I'm like, holy shit. The Panthers just beat the Rams. This is sweet.
I never thought that. I was like, oh, they left too much time. Like,
really?
As soon as the Panthers got that touchdown, I said,
I was probably thinking that in the back of my head, but I mean, but it's what we've seen from the Rams. It's not just the Seahawks that came back. It's the Eagles that came back from a huge fourth quarter lead by the Rams, right? It's the Seahawks that came back, and we just saw it in the wild card game with the Panthers, and I think. Well, it wasn't really, but they were down 17-10. The Bears were in the fourth quarter with the Rams, and they let them come back. So even if we are down in the fourth quarter, now I'm not saying down with 16 points with 7 minutes left isn't ideal, but the Rams have showed that they are willing to let teams back in.
Oh, for sure. Now, I will say I think the Bears should have won that game more than I feel the Panthers should have. The Panthers defense was never really going to be able to stop a Stafford in 2-minute drill, game on the line type situation. Like, I just never trusted that.
Or just the whole game. They scored like 37 points.
Yeah, sure. But if the Bears had done nothing else but like kick a field goal when you're in field goal range.
Yep, I was going to bring
that up. They don't
too.
actually get into overtime. Like, then it's not actually a game anymore. It's simple. Take the points. I hate this new
I'm glad you're
looking everyone else. Like, it's stop it. At that point, it becomes predictable. People start expecting you to go for it on fourth down, and then you lose your competitive edge. What's the point? Take the point.
So I was gonna actually, I forgot about it, but I was gonna bring that up. Like, And that's one thing. Even the Seahawks against the Rams, the first game, I get you're inside the 5-yard line, go for it on 4th down. But I watched some of these games, and it's not just the Bears. It's not just the Lions and the Bears, right? Because it's not just Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell. You're watching these games, and you're like, what are you guys doing? It's every playoff game this year.
Yeah,
and you're like, you're watching it. I don't remember who it was, but I was like, do they know they can kick? They can kick a field goal and get 3 points. They don't have to go. You're on the 35. It's 4th and 3. You don't have to go for it. And I really don't care. Every time ESPN's on, analytics say, screw that. Coach with your gut sometimes,
Yeah. In these playoff games, especially, I've been surprised with how often we've seen it in the playoffs. I can kind of see teams playing around with that in the regular season, but when it's win or go home, you really want to give up those 3 points. Even if the conditions are crappy, and I get sometimes the kickers miss big opportunities, but
yeah,
at least you would have made the right.
But they were close. It's not like they were very far. It's not like you're sending the guy out for even a 45-yard field goal in the snow. I mean,
right.
They were within the 15-yard line.
Yeah.
So
it's been pretty embarrassing, honestly. But anyway, I wanted to ask, do you feel I know you're super nervous about this game. Do you feel the Seahawks are you nervous because you feel like they're going to lose, or
no.
how do you feel like the game will play out?
I was this nervous going into last week. I'm nervous because this could be the last week I watch my team play. I told you that at the very beginning.
Fair.
It's I was pissed off that the Huskies, I don't care what bowl the Huskies play in, but I was pissed off that it was December 13th because I'm like, really? The season's going to be over after December 13th? That sucks. I want a New Year's Eve bowl or something like that. But how I think it's going to go, or how I want it to go, because I think they're a little bit different.
I'd love to hear both.
So how I want it to go, obviously I know it's not going to happen like last week, but I want to be able to get to Stafford because we've only sacked him 2 times in each game.
No, they haven't.
2, or was it not 2 times?
None.
They've sacked him none.
They got QB hits. They got QB hits.
Oh,
but
okay.
not sacks.
Well, anyways.
Yeah, no sacks.
Thanks, Rooftop. I appreciate that. God, why did you call me out? I hate that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, sorry, but yeah, they're probably gonna say it in the chat. But yeah.
No, I just even the way that they were getting to Stafford in the first game, which I could have swore they had at least 1 sack the first game because they were getting on the hits. They did. Yeah, they were getting pressure on him in the first game. Yeah. If we could have the defense play like we did in the first game, right? And then, not even that good, maybe half as good as we played in the first game. And then the offense just not turn the ball over. I think that's definitely a key to victory, right?
Yeah, hard to disagree with you. I think it does end up being I think the defense really shows up. I think they've got a chip on their shoulder about giving up that many points. Typically, when Mike Macdonald feels like he did a bad job, there's nobody I trust more to cook up a game plan that's going to be absolute shutdown mode. To me, this game and how it plays out comes down to how well can they defend the run in the first quarter. Because in both games, really, Rams got out to a dominant run game. It kind of allowed the Rams to do whatever they wanted to do from that point. Now,
first game, though, that was just that one drive they had. They had one drive on us. Was it 2?
It was 2. The first 2 drives, and then they shut it off like a faucet, right?
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
Then the next
game, first drive they went for it on 4th down. Yeah, correct. That's what it was. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Then the second game, they couldn't figure it out till second half, right? They do always eventually figure it out. But if the Seahawks can, from the jump, cut off that run game without having to, wait for adjustments or chess match, that puts the Seahawks automatically at an advantage. And I feel I'll feel so much better about the game if I can see that from our defense. Because my takeaway, I know the Sam Darnold interceptions weren't great, but my takeaway, especially early in the game, because the first quarter, the Seahawks offense looked really good. They actually had the lead I was like, what the heck is going on with my defense? Like, why is my defense on the field so long?
On the Thursday game?
Yeah, in the Thursday game. Like,
yeah.
That was my
because that screen pass to JSN opened the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. I should have rewatched both. I should have rewatched at least one of the games before I came on here and talked about it with you, but it comes back to me as we're but yeah, that screen pass.
But yeah, they came out like gangbusters. They came out, I mean, K9, they had the run game going. He started running, like it was probably one of the best opening drives I've seen this season against the Rams, right? So I loved that. And I was like, cool, if my defense could just get a stop. I'm like waiting. And like this didn't happen until the second half. It was crazy.
Yeah. And then, like I said before, Sam, that interception that he threw was basically a free 6 points to the Rams because, I mean, they returned it to the 1. It might as well have been a pick 6. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I will say those types of interceptions I think were different. To me, those interceptions were a little bit more indicative of Clint Kubiak, in my humble opinion, than actually Sam Darnold, because that was just the Rams playing on Seahawks tendencies. That was just them knowing that if this down and distance, they normally do this, I'm going to jump the route. I know if this goal line situation, they're not accounting for this. Let's drop
the defensive tackle.
Yeah, let's
defensive tackle dropping back and doing his best. Leonard Williams.
To know to catch that ball to me speaks to it. Like they know your tendencies, dude. So like, I'm hoping Clint Kubiak in round 3 is like, cool. You guys can sit on the sticks if you want to. We're gonna run a double move, JSN double move, and then like catch you off guard like that and burn you that way to get them. Like they keep jumping the routes because they don't anticipate, like they know exactly what Clint Kubiak's doing. Break tendency, dude, and throw these dudes off. I think if they do that, then frankly, they could win comfortably.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
but we'll see if he can do that. I mean, he's got to prove it.
Like I said, I'm just nervous. The closer it gets, the more nervous I get too. So it's like, I just want to go out there and throw up a show.
So Rooftop Sports said something interesting that Rams are 2-0 in Lumen.
Yeah.
What's that? 20? What years were that? Like
2004 and 2020.
And that doesn't really mean anything to me.
No.
No, it doesn't really
2020 there was no fans. 2004 it was a drop pass by Bobby Ingram that lost him the game that with time expiring. That was the first ever playoff game I went to when I was a kid. Was the 2004 wild card game. That was the first playoff game in Lumen Field.
Nice. Which city you linked that game, right?
No, it was Quest.
Okay.
Yeah. It was actually the first or second year at Quest because it was originally Seahawks Stadium and then they sold out, to corporate sponsorship. Kind of a bitch move.
Of course. But yeah, I don't know. That 2-0 stat doesn't hold a lot of weight with me. And personally, like I get historically, but like that's not a big enough sample size. And it's so bad. Like the teams are so vastly different that like, I don't care.
I mean, the Rams still have their same coach, but they started John Wolford that game in 2020. There's no fans. And the funny thing is they started John Wolford. We knocked him out. And then Jared Goff with like a broken thumb is the one who beat us in that game in 2020 because Jamal. Yeah.
Or was it Baker Mayfield? Why am I getting Baker?
No, it was 2021. He was still at Cleveland in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and thanks to Jamal Adams in coverage, we lost that game. He sucked.
He did. He was rough in coverage, especially
Mickey Monster
against
wants us
the
to
Rams.
talk about his prediction.
Especially about the Rams.
This is a long one. All right, let's see. It's going to be close. The Rams it's a really specific prediction making. Rams are going to start. We'll start the 35.
Ground it down to a punt. Ground it out. Okay.
First half, probably field goals.
Ground it down.
Second half, Cup will make clutch passes and set up JSN for a couple of big plays, and Barnes going to slip his way into the end zone for a narrow win. I like it. I don't hate that. What do you have? You have 10 minutes left. Why?
I guess he has to go.
Sorry. Sorry. We'll still be here. Promise.
But yeah, like the so anyway, okay. I think we're still on your how you see it like playing out.
Yeah, I don't know. I just kind of, like I said, we just have to be able to run the ball, not put the game on Sam's shoulders. And then kind of like I said at the beginning of the show, is just take advantage of what Stafford will give us, right? We can't, because that Josh Jobe play, I know you said him throwing with a little more mustard. That should have been an interception in overtime, right? In that game, the outcome's the same, but how they do it and what they have to go through is a lot different if Josh Jobe catches that ball.
Mm-hmm.
So,
great. Yeah. Are you worried about the loss of Charbonnet? I'm a little worried.
Yeah, for sure. We haven't even talked about that. Been trying not to. Yeah. Thank you, Mickey Monster. We love you more. I promise.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, no, I am, just because I'm not gonna lie. I thought, okay, you got this two-headed monster back there, and then the only thing I am pretty happy about now. Tell me if this is dumb. There is nothing scarier than a player playing for a new contract, and that's what Kenneth Walker's doing. And there's nothing that's going to take him out of the game other than, like, a torn ligament or a broken bone, knock on wood. But he's playing for money, and nothing scarier than a player playing for money. And that's what we have. That's what we have in Boye Mafe. That's what we have in Riq Woolen, and that's what we have in Kenneth Walker. And I'm really expecting all three of those guys to kind of show out. We don't need K9 stutter stepping back there. He's not Sean Alexander, right? We kind of need him to do what Charbonnet does and plant his foot and take the 3 yards when there's 3 yards. So
that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about a little bit more negative plays. I'm worried about what terrifies me the most is I'm sure the Rams goals, they're going to be trying to get pressure right in Sam Darnold's face. So they're going to be doing blitz pickups. Like, you've got to be on that. I don't trust Kenneth Walker to do that with my life. In fact, I think the sack Sam Darnold did take, like, I distinctly remember watching K9 get completely burned on the blitz pickup. And so I'm really worried about that, how that frazzles Sam, because he can be frazzled. There's no question about that. And yeah, I'm really worried about the Rams being able to hone in on K9's run style, where I feel like the Charbonnet K9 combo kept you on your toes. I worry, especially after he went off, in that last game. I think they're going to plan to do things that, like holds him back or like puts the worst part of, gets the worst out of K9, right? So
how funny would it be if this
underrated?
How funny would it be if this was just a huge Cam Akers game?
Ew.
He just comes back against his former team and doesn't. Oh, that was another thing that people forget about the second matchup on Thursday night. How about that Cup fumble? I remember saying, sorry, I just, like I said, flashbacks kind of, because I didn't rewatch the game, but just watch it. That happened. I go, you're not playing for LA anymore. I was so pissed when he fumbled that ball, because that's the difference between having to go for 2 twice, right? Like, that's 3 points easy right there. It should have been 6.
It should have been 6.
But
because he's wide open.
Like Rooftop says, we have Alani coming back. I'm a little nervous for that just because he hasn't been back.
Right.
But it definitely is better than Velus Jones Jr. I think is kind of. I texted my friend I do that show with on Tuesdays. Remember the Shaheed end around last game?
Right.
I saw him at the stadium. I go, I see 32. I'm like, is that Velus Jones? And I text him and he goes, no, that's Shaheed. And then he texts me right back. He goes, oh, wait, yeah, no, that was Velus Jones in the game. So it kind of reminds me of when they had to play Kristen Michael and was it Alex Collins, guys like that. We don't need that. We need K9 to stay healthy. And you know what? I'm kind of thinking back to our last conversation, and I apologize. I'm going completely back on this. I love the split carries. because it has, and I know you didn't like the split carries.
No, I didn't.
But boy,
Especially
is Kenneth Walker happy or healthy. And
True.
we're happy because of
That's true. That's true. It worked out in the end. And I think they eventually figured it out. What was frustrating for me was watching them use them both the wrong way. Like, stop giving Charbonnet end rounds. Like, stop doing that. Like, stop running out of shotgun with Zach Charbonnet. Like, it's gonna be blown up. Like, they just seem like they put them both in the worst possible position and then rotated them out. And so as the season went on, they got better at learning what each guy does well and then putting them in the best position. And if you're going to do that, I can live with it a lot better. But we just kind of got the worst of each for a little minute there, especially the first 4 or 5 weeks.
Really, the first 13.
It wasn't that bad the whole time. They had some improvement. I noticed some improvement around week 10.
So when did we play the Steelers? Was that week 2 or 3? Week 2?
Played the
Steelers.
Steelers week 2. Yeah.
Okay. So week 2 was the last time someone rushed for 100 yards until the Rams game on Thursday night. That was the second time we had 100-yard rushers. And I know they split their carries, right? But it was just nuts that was a stat for a while. I was
paying attention to like success rate or like how often they
yards per carry.
Negative plays. Like the negative plays were killing us in the beginning, and that got better after like week 6 or 7. Because the negative plays were pretty. Like it seemed like every other play, K9 was just dancing in the backfield and getting like losing 10 yards to get. I don't know, just crazy, stupid stuff.
And that's why I can't stand the stutter step. We don't have the offensive line. Like I was just saying on the last show, we don't have. Sean Alexander could do that because he had one of the greatest offensive lines in front of him. I mean, he could dance around back there all day and still at least get back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying the 2025 Seahawks offensive line is bad. It's definitely better than we thought we were getting coming into the season, aside from number 75, who might be worse than what we thought we were getting. No, dude, don't even. The eye test, go ahead.
Actually,
no.
I'm gonna give now. Don't embarrass me. We're some wood, not on wood. Please don't embarrass me, Anthony. I'm actually pretty proud of the progress.
I am not.
Yeah, I am.
I'll tell you, I didn't rewatch this last 49ers game. I watched the one behind him. They ran a power left play. K9 got it was he pulled right. He pulled to the B gap.
Come on, yeah.
There were 2 guys, right? There was 6, Mustafa and another guy. Okay, elementary, right? Pee-wee football. You're 7 years old. You're learning how to block. Chop your feet, get your hands inside. He had 2 guys, and instead of like picking the inside guy, or even he didn't even pick the outside guy, he put his arms out like he was going to clothesline both of them. They just went around him and tackled him for a loss. That was the moment that I was done with Anthony Bradford. I was like, really? That's what you're going to do?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing with Bradford. He's going to have maybe 2 or 3 plays a game that just make you think he's the worst football player on earth because it looks really bad. His bad is like you're not an NFL player bad. Right?
Like worse than Stone.
That's what on his bad plays.
Yeah.
But what makes him better than people, like I know people give him a bunch of crap for those plays that look terrible, and you could make a cut up to make him look like the worst player in the world. You can. But the reality is if you look at every snap, he also has a ton of good plays in there. And he's also consistent, more consistent than any option they've had at right guard, frankly, for some time, despite how bad his bads look. His low lights are like the worst I've ever seen from offensive lineman. But he doesn't do them frequently enough. He even stopped with the penalties. Now, again, get some wood.
Yeah, me too. That's what I've been doing this whole time. I would say basically anything this whole show.
Now, I knock on wood, but I'm saying like I've even seen him progress, right? Like he's gotten better. And the system doesn't naturally fit him. So like his bad plays have decreased. it doesn't kill plays like it used to kill plays, because it used to single-handedly kill drives, right? Like, we don't get that stuff anymore. And so if you get 2 or 3 really bad plays, the reality of the situation, I don't think most people know, is almost every right guard sucks in the league. Like everybody but 3. They all suck. They stink. Anthony Bradford, if you look at all the charts, he's like mediocre. And we know how bad he is sometimes. Like, there are way worse guys than Anthony Bradford. Period.
So I'll agree with what you say a little bit, because I remember vividly watching the Panthers game. We took me and my wife took my daughter home from the hospital that day. So we're at home, we're watching the second half, and I go, God damn it. And because it was just a boneheaded play, right? Like him just basically, not doing his kickbacks, or his kick steps, and just a guy just walking around him. It looked like the ball was snapped and he just stood up. You're like, what are you doing? And I'm talking shit about him, and the very next play, he makes a lead block downfield, and I don't remember anything but other than that. And I go, all right, whatever, because you're right. He does execute sometimes, especially on those screens a lot. I see him downfield a lot on those screens. But boy, when he pulled on that play, I was so done with him. I was like, you've got to be. That's the most embarrassing play I've ever seen. He just went like this. He just put his arms out. He's like, what do I do?
No, it pisses me off more when you get the screenshots of like him turn around looking at Sam Darnold, like, hey, look out. Like, bro.
Not even screenshots. Just like watch the plays. And you're like, all right, you have to imagine being the offensive line coach, right? Which me and you know nothing about playing offensive line in the NFL. And you have to, and we're like, holy shit, this is bad. Now you have to imagine being like the offensive line coach going, all right, Tony B, what's going on? Well, coach, I mean, my brain left my head that play.
Yeah.
I remembered I was supposed to pull.
Oh. Yeah. Guaranteed 2 or 3 of those that you can look back and you can be like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing? But then he'll he's one of their best run blockers a lot of times. So
yeah.
I think he complements what they already have. And honestly, folks need to brace themselves. He might be back. I'm just saying. The draft looks awful, especially for right guards. So
the draft looks awful except for like 5 players.
Exactly. He might be back.
I do like this comment. Sergeant Jordan was the one that said that Stafford has to play, or the Rams have to place the game on Stafford's shoulders. Mm-hmm. He said our O-line is the best it's been in a long time. Yes, at least I totally agree.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I don't think it's a question. It's functional.
Yeah, Sundell, boy, I didn't think that I'd be happy with Sundell, like, knock on wood, but I mean, at the beginning of the year, we're starting Jalen Sundell at center. And now, I mean, we saw Olu in there a couple games, and I think Sundell is head and shoulders above Olu.
Yeah, so I was cool with the Sundell move because I liked that someone beat out a predicted starter. Mm-hmm. So I figured they had to be good. Like, I figured Mike Macdonald wasn't letting anyone who didn't, like, especially because they wanted Olu. Like, Olu came in as the presumptive starter. He had to win that job, and it was so tit for tat for so long. I was like, well, if he's won it, like, it's even better. Olu as a backup is like great to me. So I was fine with Sundell, and I kind of liked his upside from last year even. So I was cool with it. I was a little nervous when they brought him back for that Rams matchup because Olu did like help the run game a little bit more. In the run game, I was just worried that it wouldn't be so good. It was like a Colts game when they ran like 50 yards or something. I was like, oh dear God.
Yeah, we kicked 6 field goals that game. I remember. Yeah. I was there, obviously, and I was just like, this kind of sucks. Like, this isn't fun. No, and then Phillip Rivers, I'll give Phillip Rivers credit that game. He was getting the ball out fast. But like I said, no NFL experience, no college experience. And I'm going, hey, they're going to run the ball up the middle first and second down, throw a short pass on third down every time. And they did it every time. And Phillip Rivers, whenever he threw the ball past 5 yards, was so out of sync with his receivers. To be fair, he'd been there like 4 days. I don't blame him for that. But boy, did he have a quick release, because he should have been hit so many times and he got that ball out so fast.
I don't even think it was about his quick release. I just think, honestly, Mike Macdonald probably had one of his worst play calling games of all time. In that Colts game, because they basically let him do what the only thing they could do, and Mike Macdonald didn't really try to stop them. I think they just figured they can come out and win, honestly.
Yeah,
and
they did.
I don't think they tried.
Barely.
Yeah, they didn't try. I don't think Mike Macdonald tried the game plan. So anyway, back to the game. But that running game was so alarming in that Colts game that I was nervous. I'm like, okay, I don't really want to play Sundell against the Rams. And they came out like gangbusters. So
yeah,
I think the run game is key. But if they can't get the run game going, I do think, and especially if they can't get the run game going because they've dedicated extra bodies to the box, I still think it's advantage Seattle.
Yeah.
Though I'm a little more nervous.
Yeah.
A little.
I get it. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see Leonard Williams and Gray Zabel talking on the sideline, what this guy was talking about? Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah, really cool.
One more question, and then I think we're going to get, or I guess two more, because I'm going to ask you like final score and stuff, if that's cool, unless you have anything else.
Yeah, no, okay.
Okay, so they're saying this on the radio on Friday, and it got me thinking, okay, the game's, we'll say it's 27-23, 5 seconds left. The ball's on the 5-yard line. The offense is down 4 points, obviously. Would you rather be on offense or defense?
I mean, defense. That's the better.
See, I don't know. Defense. That's where at first I thought that immediately. And then you think about it and you're like, one of the offensive coordinator is going to dial something up and hopefully they practice it a lot. I don't know. Part of me feels like I'd rather be on offense.
I don't know. So the reason why I think it's an interesting debate, no question. I lean defense still because I don't know why. I can't get that Texans game out of my head. Like,
whatever.
How many goal line stands they made in that Texans game? Like, I came out of that game thinking our defense is full of psychopaths. Like, it was like so many 1 yard stands and
there's
so
a little
many.
bit. It's not like you're just.
I know 5 yards is not a 1 yard, but I mean, I almost think that helps our defense, right? Like I've just seen them defend so many 4th and 1s.
Yeah.
That I feel confident they can do a 3. Now, what down is this, by the way?
Fourth there's down. 5 seconds. There's 1 second left. Same thing.
I trust our defense to do that.
One play.
I trust our defense.
I kind of do.
Now, most teams, I would say the offense. I just think this defense is special.
It's just hard. I hope we're not in this situation. Otherwise, I might need a heart transplant. But
I get it.
Part of me feels like I want Kubiak to kind of, he has this one play, right, that they've been working on for the past 5 weeks, and they haven't used it for short yardage or medium yardage situations. And maybe he pulls it out. But then again, the Rams, same thing. They have the same play.
So I've just seen similar situations where, like, I know I've been hyping up Sam Darnold, but I watched him miss Zach Charbonnet in the flat against the 49ers. I also watched him throw it straight to Kobe.
He barely missed him. He just didn't throw it.
Yeah, right. Missed the read completely. Yeah. Took a sack instead. I've watched Kobe Turner pick off Sam Darnold in similar situations. I don't know. I think I've just seen our defense shine in those moments more than I've seen our offense shine in those moments. And our offense went through a series where a little bit this season where they struggled in the red zone. And I don't know how they'll look in this game, but the Rams at one point, like the first game, shut them down in the red zone. So, like, I don't know that I want to be on offense. I just want the best unit on the field. And then you just hope. Yeah, that's the defense.
Yeah, I get it. They're the best defensive unit in the NFL. I don't think we have the best offense in the NFL. So, and you can say what you want about the Texans and the Jaguars, but look at what happened. Look at what happened when we faced the Texans and the Jaguars. So,
and not only that, I'll just add to that real quick. Is I think the Seahawks defense would be historically good, no question, if Sam Darnold did not lead the league in turnovers, because they had so many like short field situations where like sudden death. Now they got to stop somebody from getting like a field goal and they end up getting 3 points. Like, I think there's a bunch of points on this defense's head that they didn't earn, frankly.
I think if you hold I'm not saying this is going to happen, but say you hold the Rams to 17 points and you win the game, right? And the Seahawks go in, and that one's actually, say the defense dominates the Rams offense, which is kind of, it is feasible to think could happen, but we're not expecting that to happen. The Super Bowl, they could dominate the Patriots or the Broncos offensively. They could dominate them, and this team could go down as one of the best defenses, top 10 in history. Kind of like the 2000 Ravens gave up 34 points to, I forget who it was. I'm just saying this defense is it's not as many big names as the Legion of Boom. It's not as many big names. Even the 2000 Ravens, Tony Siragusa wasn't a big name. You just had Ray Lewis and Rod Woodson. I couldn't name another defensive back on that team.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways,
it's just a solid. I agree with you that they're on the verge of being historically great. I just think they would have been run away historically great if the offense didn't put them in such crappy positions.
I think they could be like 2015 Broncos great, if that makes sense.
I think they're there. I think they're closer to LOB than people give credit for. But I get why we don't make that comparison. I get it.
I don't. I think they're just so different. The Legion of Boom had the guys. Now, not saying that this team doesn't have great talent, but they had Earl Thomas back there and they had Richard Sherman on the left side of the field to say, okay, we're going to line up, we're going to play this game, and we're going to show you what we're running. We're either going to run cover 3, cover 1, or sometimes cover 2 and beat us. See what we're going to rush 4 guys every time. See what happens. They did.
But if you look at the production, I don't know if you've seen a flyer going around. If you look at the production between the two teams, it's actually really similar. Like game when you go
no, I don't.
All that stuff.
I don't doubt it. I truly don't doubt it. But I'm just saying it's a different style.
Oh, for sure.
Like the coaching definitely.
It's completely.
This is definitely more of a smart team than the Legion of Boom. It's more technical. Guys have to be in the right. Look at Ty Okada. Ty Okada's been playing the role of Cam Chancellor at part of the season. I don't think that would have been a thing with the 2013 Seahawks. You can't take Chris Margos, who was the backup strong safety back then, and replace Cam Chancellor with him. So
and it's like defensive front led. Like the dominant part is like the defensive front, and everything else kind of like fills out around that. So it is completely. But that's not. I kind of love that. I love that it's different. I love that it's its own thing.
Yeah. Sorry. Let's just get a final score and your prediction really quick, and then I think I'm gonna get out of here if that's okay with you.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm back and forth with this quite a bit, but I'm thinking 21-19 Seahawks. I think it's close. I think the defense does show a much better performance against that Rams offense. We'll see.
Yeah, I'm going 27-23 Seahawks, and that's what I did the last. Not a super high.
Yeah.
Pardon?
No, the final scenario you put in your head is that.
Well, I just said that because that was the first score. The score I picked on the first podcast I did a minute ago. So, it could be freaking 10-6 for all I care. As long as we win, it could be 2-0. It could be 3-2. As long as we win, we're going to the Super Bowl. It don't matter.
That'd be rough to sit through.
Oh, I don't care. Right. It's the NFC Championship. As long as we win, I really don't care.
That is true. Fair enough. Well, I appreciate you having me on, Joe. It's always fun talking it up with you, and hopefully we have an opportunity to continue to talk about this team.
Man, that'll be awesome. And you know what? To be honest, before we get out of here, this team is coming back next year. I mean, there's not many guys leaving. I mean, it's gonna. I'm not just saying next year. I'm saying maybe the next 3 to 5 years. I'd keep an eye out on this team regardless, because I think they have the opportunity with the way that John Schneider's running things up front and the way that Mike Macdonald's running things actually in the building. I think this team has an opportunity to do what the Legion of Boom didn't and, win a couple.
Yep.
So we got to win one first, right? So,
right.
Yep.
One step at a time.
All right.
Get to the Super Bowl first.
Yeah. Thanks again. We will talk to you later. Thanks to everybody in the chat.